used to care so much what people think that I would restrict my social media from every single family member. Like no one could follow me. I didn't want to share anything about my personal life. I kept everything so private from my parents, aunts, uncles, cousins, siblings, everyone, because I cared so much about people's judgment and I didn't want to be judged. But that is a prerequisite of making content online, is being okay with being judged. And it's a skill that you can learn. And I'm talking about this because as an introvert, chances are you like to spend your time alone. Maybe you also don't like being judged, but you can get over that by posting content. And I'm gonna teach you that in this video, because this could be something that completely changes your life. Even if it doesn't make you a ton of money, it can completely change your life. It's changed my life because I've been making comedy skits for like the past 5 years now almost. And even though I haven't made millions of dollars from this, it's been like a creative hobby that I can consistently do. And I moved to Los Angeles, I made a bunch of friends, I've gone viral on Instagram, on TikTok, and it's just allowed me to like put myself out there, express myself, and also just grow and learn how to handle judgment. And I think that that's so important, especially in today's day and age where you can post videos online and these can be seen by anyone, because you have the ability to really make a difference in the world if you have just some sort of message that you're consistently putting out there. But the thing is, you have to be okay with the judgment. So it's like you can only get the rewards of social media by being okay with the judgment. So that's what I want to talk about today. We'll talk about this, and then we'll also talk about like how to figure out what you should post about and how to do that consistently. So how do you get over the fear of judgment? So you just kind of break it down to the next step and then you take that next step. So for me, the first step was making my Instagram public, because it was always private. Even though I knew I wanted to make comedy skits, like I was like, okay, I'll just make it public. And then the next step was posting my first video, my first like reel. This was even before Instagram Reels. So it was just like posting a video that was kind of embarrassing, honestly. It was kind of embarrassing that I was posting this on Instagram because I'd never made a comedy skit before on my personal Instagram. It was just like nice pictures of me, right? And I was like, oh, what are people gonna think about this? I made the video. I remember I'm sitting in my room and I didn't think the video was that good. I was so nervous to post it, but I pressed post anyway. And that's what changed my life, because then I was just able to do that consistently. Because once you start doing it and you commit to posting, you commit to getting over that fear, the more consistently you do it, the more you see the rewards of doing that. And the more you can also align with people who have similar goals. Like so many of my friends now are content creators, and I've learned so much about content creators, social media, business, because of just talking to these people, just being around these people. So it's like that only happens if you take that first step and then you continue to try and push through any uncomfortable feelings, any feeling of judgment. And of course, it's not easy. It's not easy at first because it's something new. But even if it's not easy, just focus on the fact that it's worth it. Like I end so many of my videos, every YouTube video actually, with life's not easy, but it's worth it. So of course, certain things are not going to be easy, but don't focus on that. Don't focus on the difficulty of it. Focus on whether or not it's worth pursuing, because there will be rewards if you're consistent with it. But the first step is you break it down to what you actually have to do next. That puts yourself a little bit outside of your comfort zone. So maybe it's making your Instagram public. Then the next step, you make the video, you post the video. And of course it's gonna be not great. It's probably your first video. So if it's like your first video, don't hold yourself to the standard of it being perfect. Hold yourself to the standard of getting over the fear of judgment. Because that is the first step of being a content creator, is being okay with people judging it. Because that's why people don't do it. So how do you get over that? You have to consistently push yourself outside of your comfort zone slowly until you feel comfortable there. Like I'm a lot more comfortable posting videos now. Like this is like the 40th or 41st, something like that, 41st video in a row that I posted on YouTube every day. And I'm not gonna do this forever, but the reason I feel comfortable doing this is because I've just done it a bunch now, you know? I'm more comfortable speaking on camera. I'm more comfortable with people seeing the videos. And you'll get to that point too, you just have to be consistent with it. And of course, like, yeah, some people will be annoyed by it, but if it's really something that's holding you back, like people seeing your videos, just start a new Instagram or start a new YouTube channel, whatever it is. If you have a bunch of like family and friends on your Instagram or TikTok, just start a new one and post on that, because then you have the freedom of posting with only people following you because they want to see your content. Yeah, maybe some people will follow you to make fun of you, whatever. But the vast majority of people who will follow you just genuinely want to see your content. Whereas if you post on your current Instagram, then a lot of people who follow you are like friends from high school or whatever. So I would recommend making a new one, posting on there, and then just try and be as consistent as you can. And if you do that, then you'll get over that fear of judgment, or at least it won't hold you back. You may not fully get over it, because I don't think I've fully gotten over it. And I've been making content for 5 years, right? So it's like I haven't fully gotten over the judgment. Sometimes I still think like, oh man, will people like this? But even though I think that, I still do it anyway. And the more you can do things despite your feelings, the more you can be committed to your goals. Because there's always going to be days where you don't want to do it. You don't want to post. You don't want to record the video. Like today, honestly, it's like a little bit later in the day than I usually record. And I was like, oh man, I don't want to record today. But I committed to posting consistently, so then that's why I'm going to record the video. And the more you do that, like, you know, the more it becomes a habit, the more it becomes part of your identity, the more you see yourself as a content creator. So it's just like, you have to see it as worth it. And it doesn't have to make you millions of dollars to be worth it. Like, it could just be you growing as a person. Like for me, posting this content, like posting my first comedy skit, I didn't think I was gonna make any money from it. I was just like, I wanted to post it. I knew I always wanted to do stand-up or post content. And it was holding me back from like doing the things I truly wanted. And the more you do that, the more you're proving to yourself that like you will get started on the things that you say you would do. So of course it's gonna be uncomfortable. Like it always is. But you just do it anyway. And that's how you get over the fear. You kind of just push through it and just focus on like the rewards. Keep the goal, keep the win in mind. Keep that viral video in mind. Like when I first started posting on TikTok, I would post to get a viral video. Like I posted every day until I got a viral video. And it was like 3 million views or whatever. And it was like the dumbest video. And I wouldn't suggest going about this way, posting to just get a viral video, but have some sort of goal in mind. Maybe it's like a certain amount of followers, or maybe it's just like a certain amount of posting days in a row. I think that's actually probably the best goal. Have a goal to post every day for like a week and just try and commit to that and see how your life changes. See how you will, you know, actually see yourself getting over this fear of judgment, which is the first step of being a content creator. So once you get over the fear of judgment, like how do you determine what to post? Well, you just talk about your life experiences. Just pick something specific that you could talk about that you think you could help people with based on problems that you've already solved yourself. So when I speak to my camera, I'm kind of speaking to like someone who's less experienced than me in content creation, right? I'm speaking to me 5 years ago before I started posting videos. That's what so many of my videos are about. It's about like overcoming overthinking, starting to post consistently, and being an introvert, because these are all things that are relevant to me. Like I know what it's like to be someone who's overthinking their first video. I know what it's like to post a video and you feel uncomfortable that, you know, it doesn't get that many views. I know what it's like for people to judge you because you're putting yourself out there and you really want to do this, but like none of your friends really do this, so they don't understand. I know how all of that feels. So that's what I talk about in my videos. And that's what you could talk about too. It's like whatever experiences you've gone through that you've solved for yourself, you just talk about it and you try and help the person on the other side of the screen solve it for themselves as well by giving them advice, like telling them what you learned. Because there's always people who are a couple steps behind you. Like no matter where you're at, you're definitely ahead of some people, right? So it's like you just talk about your experiences to this person. So for me, posting videos, like I talk a lot about posting consistently because like that's what I'm doing now. And if you post consistently on Instagram and TikTok, you will go viral eventually, because it's not that hard to go viral anymore. It's just, you just need some sort of hook, something that hooks the audience's attention. And then you have to give some sort of advice and make your video engaging. Make sure it's edited in a way where the viewer is likely to stay to the end. And the reason it's not that hard is because if you post consistently, then one of them could go viral for sure, because it just needs the right topic or the right hook. And then if enough people watch it, Instagram or TikTok or YouTube Shorts will push that out to a ton of people, and then they'll share it with their friends. And then eventually you get one video that gets 1 million views. And that'll feel great, because it's like, you probably aren't thinking of yourself as someone who can like get 1 million views. I know I wasn't before I started. So being able to do that is honestly like, it's a pretty great feeling. Just make sure you're doing it in something that you want to make content in, because you also don't want to go viral for the wrong thing. Because once you go viral, once you get millions of views on a short form video, people will want that type of video again. So if you have a certain style of content that you genuinely love making, that's perfect. Just do that consistently. Because if one of those go viral, then people will want to see that kind of content. And if you're doing that consistently, then you could just keep making that kind of content that you like to make anyway. So it's like, be careful what you try and go viral with. But if you just do this consistently and you have a series, eventually I think one will go viral and you'll start to get followers. And then if you want to monetize it, you sell some sort of product to your audience. So it's really all about being consistent. And then you get the rewards of finally putting yourself out there, finally doing the things that you said you would do, finally having a message. And one of the great benefits of content creation is like, you get to teach people your lessons. It's one of the most meaningful things you could do is like convey the things that you've learned to someone else. And you get to do that potentially as your full-time job. So it's like, you need to keep that in mind, that this is like so many people's dream jobs. And you have that opportunity because you have a phone, you have Wi-Fi, you can make videos, you can talk about your stories to accomplish that dream. So it's like, just keep that in mind. Always keep the win in mind because you're playing a longer game. But so many people quit after one video when one video doesn't do well. But the thing is, your plan should be to do this for as long as you can because it's one of the best things you could do. You're conveying a message to someone who needs it. And you already have the stories that you could tell. You already have the advice that you could tell. It's just about getting better, speaking on camera, making videos, being able to package it in a way that's useful to the viewer, that's useful to someone like you. So keep that in mind. Keep in mind the person that you can help because you're not doing this just for you. You're also doing it for the person on the other side of the screen. So don't hold yourself back. Make sure that you're doing the things that you want to do because the reason you want to do it is probably because you want to help someone else. So if you're ever in a position where you're like, oh man, this video didn't do well, just try and fix it on the next video and keep in mind that your goal is to help the other person and this could also change your life as well. So it's like, if you ever hold yourself back, just keep in mind why it's worth it. Because it won't be easy. It won't be easy at first. Of course, you're doing something new. But even though it won't be easy, it will be worth it. Life's not easy, but it's worth it. Take care.